everybody, and welcome back to Drawing with Paolo. Today we're going to draw a special request all over this page here with the head at the top and the body down here and some of the legs and the belt. A clone trooper starts, of course, with the head. So a lot of you have asked for a clone trooper, and here we go. We're going to start with his head and his body, his spinal cord. Then we're going to add the shoulders, lines like this, and we're going to draw the torso. We're going to start this drawing off sort of like the Spartan, and it's pretty much in that manner that we're going. Then we're going to add the shoulders with circles on either side, with one on the right, one on the left. We're going to add the arms. So sort of drawing a stick man, we're going to draw the arm bent because he's going to be holding a cannon or a laser rifle. And we're going to add the other forearm over here. And we're going to draw a little mitten, like a little mitten holding the cannon, and a little hand here that'll be holding the trigger. And that's pretty much, the basic elements that we need to draw our clone trooper. And then, of course, thighs, a line for thighs, and where the pelvic area is here, just like a little triangle like that. All right, and the legs will be flared out just a little bit. And that's that. That's what we're looking for. And we're going to erase the lines we don't need so that we can start drawing in the content. So we're going to start with the helmet here. And I'm going to draw, again, it's, that same type of Boba Fettish stormtrooper helmet. So, we're going to do essentially like a bucket again, upside down bucket on top of the head. So a dome like this, and just a nice curve. And then we're going to draw this 3/4 view. So this is where the center line will be for his face, his mask. And we're going to curve out a little lip like that, the same thing on this side, and then draw it all the way to the front. So a line like this, another one at the front, and a curve to the back. Just like Boba Fett, actually, there's not much difference. And that's the basic shape. And we'll erase inside there to then draw the contents of the helmet. We're going to draw the details. First step is always that separator that we use, that every Star Wars helmet seems to have. This separator line, just like that. The next step is we want to attach the visor. So the visor has a triangular shape that then flares out and goes to the middle of the helmet. Just like that. All right, so then the glass part of the visor is a little triangle inside the main lines we made at first that points down at the bottom and then goes all the way down to the mouth area, where then it flares out as though we had a letter X at the bottom there, the bottom of a letter X. So a letter T attached to letter X. And then we can color the inside and make sure to leave some white areas so that we have reflections. Then at the top is we have the fin. The fin comes out this way and swoops down just like that, a little curve, and bring it all the way down to the visor. Then we're going to draw the thickness of the top, and then the thickness of the bottom will come attached to that in the same swooping manner, just like this onto the side. Then we'll attach the top of the line. This will be the black line above the visor. And then we're going to do the little earpiece onto the side here. There's always that little square earpiece that sort of comes out this way, and then the line goes up to the top of the visor, and we'll erase in there so that we can actually add detail. So then we're going to design the inside of the helmet. So this is this square line, and from the corner of the square line, we have a little bit of a fold in the front of the mask. And then there's this line here that I'm going to be using this line to draw the designs of a captain. So the captain is red and white, and well, no particular captain, but just a red and white kind of captain there. And we're going to color in, whatever's going to be red will be a dark gray, not a black, mind you, but this dark gray here that I've decided to use. And then we're going to color in this black area at the top of the helmet. The separator line is black. I'm going to darken inside the visor a little bit more here, give it a bit more detail. Then we'll erase a few lines here in the hands and in the body so that we can add more details later on. Of course, there are these little ventilation holes that will then evolve into the stormtrooper that we know. And we'll color the side here of the helmet, add a little bit of shading because the light sort of comes from the front, sort of front right. And so the back side is sort of shaded. And we'll color the little fin here because that's the red as well as for the captain to display this helmet as being belonging to a captain. Little earpiece. Retrace my line out here, make this a little bit more attached to the bottom part of the helmet. Retrace my outlines here, the lines that I'm going to keep and like, just like that. All right. And then we're going to draw the thicknesses to the bottom of the helmet. So he has two sort of triangles at the bottom of his helmet, just like that, that are parallel each other. And we're going to color those in as the bottom of that is hidden by shadow. And this part too has a little bit of a 3D-ish look to it, so we'll add a bit of strokes in here. A few pencil strokes to give it a bit more depth in the deep part of his helmet, just like that. And color in on the right side here. We're going to add a bit more contour line, darker contour line, just like that. And all in all, that's pretty much what the helmet looks like. We'll color in the earpiece as well, because this part is shaded a little bit too. And that's the Clone Trooper helmet. Not more than that, it's pretty much done. Then we're going to start doing his armor. So there's a lot of black and white, and we're going to add the red color to this armor chest plate. So here's the black part. This is where he's wearing this black shirt, and this here is a little, what's that called? Like, you know, the little hooks that allow him to secure his chest plate to his shoulders. Little belts. And then we're going to add the shoulder pad on this side, so shoulder pad here. Just essentially it's a triangle with a circle at the bottom. A quarter circle or half a circle there. Erase inside that, and then do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to build our drawing from top to bottom. The reason why we always draw from top to bottom in most cases is that you don't want to smudge your drawing as you're drawing along. There we go, the right shoulder pad, erase in there. All right, nicely done. I got magic hands, I can erase with my hands. All right, all right, and then we're going to color the side here and then finish off just a little bit of this line. Seems to be bugging me. I like it darker a little bit here. And darker at the top here. The light is making shadow. And then, of course, color the shirt. The shirt inside is black shirt, like every stormtrooper, clone trooper, everybody else have a black lining inside there. And this is where the armor ends up coming towards the arms. On the left side is the same. This is where the chest plate ends. And there's a divot in the middle, so a separator line. And then this line swoops down towards the left and back up. And the same thing on the right side. Afterwards, we'll do that. The thickness here on the left. And then we'll swoop this right side as well, down to the right. And give it its thickness as well, just like that chest plate in there. The next step is we're going to draw the thickness of the arms. So we're going to pull down a line here on the far right side and pull down on the line here. You could have drawn sausages if you like. You can draw ovals to explain where you want to put your arms, but I can see that already in my mind where I want to put these lines. So here's the thicknesses of the arms where I'd like to have them, and I'm going to color the inside here to make this part all black as well, with a little bit of a thickness to the chest plate. All right, the next step is to draw the red line that details the shoulder pads. So I'm going to color inside here, make this all nice and gray, and I'm going to repeat that line pretty much throughout his outfit. And there we go. Then I'm going to redo the outline here. That's pretty cool. And then I'm going to color the whole left shoulder pad. Because there's a little bit of reflection, I'm going to then erase inside there, just like we did with Batman and the car and everything else. So, oh, I got a little bit of a piece here. I'm going to remove that later on. And now we're going to color in the captain. I think this is how he's figured out as being a captain, with these 4 circles, 4 red circles. I'm going to color those in as well, just like this. All right, we're going to add a little bit of detail on the left side here to balance out the drawing. Sort of events, or maybe it's a code of some kind on this side. And I'm going to redraw thickness to the top of this chest plate, just like that. It's coming along pretty well. Don't forget, you can pause this at any time, rewind it if you need to. Now we're going to draw his elbow pad. And the elbow pad is essentially like a rounded out square, if that makes any sense. So this is going to be the inside, and here we're going to draw the thickness of it, just like that. And that part will be red, so a little bit of a darker gray in there. So, And this is the thickness to his forearm, the bottom part, the curved line to his gauntlet, so the top of the plastic top that protects his hand, and the top of his forearm, just like that. And we'll erase the lines inside there. And then I'm going to color the red line going down his arm. So the same shade as this. Just going to color that in a little bit more. So down here, we want to make it the same gray. This represents the red of this guy's suit. I'm also going to add a little bit of shading here onto the bottom side of his arm so that there's actually a roundedness that, well, it looks rounded. It looks like there's 3D in there. And then we're going to finish the black part of his armor that we can see poking through there. And then his forearm. Erase that line out of there so that we can finish the black part here too. There's his elbow underneath his armor. And the forearm will be red just like that. Color that in real quick. And give the bottom part a little bit of a darker shadow so that it looks 3D, right? You want a rounded out look. Same thing for these gauntlets. We'll put little divots in there so it looks like there's some depth to this part. And then we finish this line. All right, we're going to color in the elbow pad the same way, same red, but the inside is whitish, so we're going to keep that sort of a light gray, a lighter gray if we can. But there's also a shadow in there, so there's a lot of stuff happening actually in this part. Darken the outside line there. Now we're going to make the cannon or his laser rifle. So here's the butt of the laser rifle, and then a little curvature, whoop, divot like that, and then we're going to pull a line all the way out. So from here, there's a little bit of thickness. So taller, the rounded out part of the cannon. Pull this line all the way back. And this whole gun will be black, so not too much detail to be rendered in here. And we'll erase the arm lines from inside the cannon, just like this. And then we're going to add shading all the way to the bottom because the cannon will be blocking a lot of the clone trooper, so we'll have some shading underneath there. So this color to this color will be repeated here on this right shoulder pad. So the same type of gray. I'm going to redraw the outline a little bit here. Make it a little bit darker at the top because the light isn't hitting that part. And the side line here is the same type of gray as well. Same red line. Coloring the black here a little bit darker. And now we can have a bit of fun drawing this right hand that's holding the cannon up. So his hand is going to be sort of on a block. It's like a hand imprint. Draw all 3-4 fingers like this, so all curved over. And his thumb will be disappearing behind the cannon like this. We'll erase the lines inside there. And then do the outlines of the gun a little bit more. So they're just really basic shapes of squares and tubes, essentially, for this gun. And at the top there's this really distinct shape. It's like a hockey stick attached to the top of the cannon there. Here's the hockey stick, but with a really fat pallet. See that? It's like a goalie stick, short goalie stick, stuck into the cannon with the hole to the cannon at the front. Color that in right away. And what you want to do is leave a little bit of a white line around that hole as you color in the gun later on. You'll see what I mean by that. So here you can draw the underline thickness, color that in. The bottom needs to be darker as the light doesn't reach there, and then we're going to color the cannon later on. But let's redraw the forearm and the elbow pads. Just like this, elbow pads have the same concept as the left-hand side here, so color that in a little bit more. I like it darker in there. So here it'll be exactly the same. We'll erase this little line here that I don't need anymore. And this is where we're going to have the forearm in there, the black part of his armor. And then we're going to color the outside because that's the same red as that shoulder pad. And we're going to color the inside as well because no light can reach inside there. And we'll leave it a little bit brighter than the rest because it is white in there apparently. And we'll do the thickness of the arm just like that. So here's the hand. This is where the hand is leaning on. I don't know what this thing is called, but this is where you can hold the cannon from the bottom part that way. And I'll redraw the gauntlet here, so you'll see like the divot to where the joints go, and color that in. That's dark red as well, just like the forearm will be. And the gloves are black, so we're going to color each finger in black, but leaving a little bit of a white space between each finger so that you can see the detail in there. And color in the thumb, and then the forearm on this side, which is also dark red, but because it's underneath the gun, it should be darker. Color in the shoulder pad a little bit more, give it a 3D look. Top is bright, the bottom is darker. It's a little bit of a reflection. And then we're going to color the whole gun in black, and we're going to leave a little bit of a white sheen at the top of it. So all the way across, there's a white line. And remember, we want to keep a little bit of a white line around the entrance of the gun, or the exit hole here. Darken that up a little bit and put a little bit of a detail. But see this little white line there? And we're going to erase some reflection just like this, and then draw in the fingers, color in all the black of the gun around those fingers. Really shaking the table here at this pace. And erase the lines I don't need. All right, the next step is to draw the bottom part of his chest plate, color that in because there's shading down here. And we're going to add a little bit of detail, just a little bit of shading there, here, left and right. And then we're going to add his belt line. So his belt line is a whole bunch of squares, really. So we're going to draw 3D squares. If you have a hard time with 3D squares, you can find my Drawing 3D Shapes video. And this can help you for this part. So we're just going to draw sort of like a Batman belt, essentially, but a whole bunch of clips attached to this. So nothing too detailed, because this is sort of hidden underneath the gun. Erase the lines inside there because I won't need to keep those. Clean that up a little bit. There we go. And then we're just going to add a few more detailed lines to the belt and the 3D lines. This might be, it looks simple, but it's a little bit of a difficult part to this drawing. And I'm really just adding any kind of line in there just to give it some design, some detail. I'm not going to add too much detail because that's not the main focus of the drawing, but it's fun to have a little bit of, some detailed lines in there. Give it a sense of reality. And then we're going to color it in all nice and gray so that the gun is making a shadow onto the belt. And here we go. And a little bit back here should be darker, and should be a little bit of 3 little holes here, part of the armor. And that you get that on the stormtroopers as well. There we go. And a little bit of detailing in this too. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add a bit more shading here to show that the gun is really close to the belt, so it's darker down here. Then we want really to see that shadow. Darken that a bit more. And then we're going to draw the cod piece. The cod piece is what protects the front bottom part of our clone trooper. So the clone trooper cod piece is really just a curved line with a little squarish triangle here. And then a reverse shape, which is in the same shape as the bottom part, but going upwards, which is, I guess, it's like 2 plastic parts stuck together. And the bottom part has a little bit of shading in it. And then we're going to add the shadow of the belt onto that cod piece, just like this. And then this part is the dark part, where we can still see his undersuit, the black undersuit. This, color that in. Then we're going to do his external thigh line, just like that, which are plastic, or I don't know what it is. These things should hold, should deflect laser blast somehow, so I don't know what the material is. And we're going to color that in just like that. And erase the line that was too much here, just like this. And the little light white line in there, that's pretty cool. And do the same thing on the left side, color that inside and leave a little bit of a reflection. So we're going to draw in his bottom thigh here, back thigh line, and then add a little bit of a thickness, color that in, a little bit of shadow at the top, and a 3D-ish look. And that's that. That's how you draw a clone trooper, all in all. I hope you enjoyed this clone trooper drawing. All of you out there that want a clone trooper, here he is. Keep on watching, keep on making your requests. I enjoy them very much. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Drawing with Paolo. Have a great day. See you next time.